For example 6, we're once again not proving that two triangles are congruent, but in this case two angles are congruent. So I'm going to start with the given and see where that takes us. So for step 1, I'm going to say U is the midpoint of TQ, and that is given. So if you look at the picture, U is the midpoint of TQ, so it's the middle, so that means that TU will be the same thing as QU, and that would be my statement 2. So I'm going to say TU is congruent to QU, and the reason for that is it's the definition of a midpoint. I go back to my given, and I was also given that U is the midpoint of RS. So what that means, let me write given here. If U is the midpoint of this segment, that means SU is the same as RU. So that will be my statement 4. So SU is congruent to RU. And that is again the definition of a midpoint. So looking at this now, I have two sides that are congruent, but if I'm actually looking closely, I can see that angle 3 is congruent to angle 4, and the reason for that is that they are vertical angles. So I'm going to make that my next statement. So I'm going to say angle 3, I could also have used QUR, but I'm going to use angle 3 is congruent to angle 4, and the reason for that is that they are vertical angles. And then from that I can see that I have two congruent triangles. I have a side, an included angle, and a side an included angle, and a side. So I'm going to write a congruent statement for those. So for 6, I'm going to say triangle QUR is congruent to triangle TUS. And I'm watching the parts. I'm doing the single marked side, then the angle, then the double marked side for both of those. So the reason for 6 is the side angle side, and remember it's an included angle, the side angle side postulate. From that, if I look at angle 2 and angle 6, they are corresponding parts. Angle 2 is angle URQ, and angle 6 is UST. So we have two corresponding parts here, so I can go straight to my final proving congruent statement. So 7, I'm going to say angle 2 is congruent to angle 6, and the reason for that is that corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. CPCTC, and that proof is finished.